Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, the last one of the season. We're finally here, and it's the £14 million game. As West Ham United take on Everton, two former managers going up against their opposition club, and could be the final day at their clubs for both of the managers. If you would like to join us on the day at the boats, the link is in the description below. Me and Gonzo will be there having a barbecue and a few drinks. We'll be having a mini party. Not much to celebrate. It's not going to stop us. But Gonzo, what's your thoughts on the Toffees?
Well, we got a lot of sympathy for him, I think, certainly. There's a lot of people looking at him and wondering what everybody's complaining about. And when you look at it, I think he's got him, Sam Allardyce has got them up into 8th position. So, as I say, the whole Red West of football are thinking, what are the Everton fans whinging about? I think we understand. And I think it's probably even worse than us when they've bought £50 million players, and particularly they've got a lot of number 10s, haven't they? They're playing that sort of pragmatic style that Sam likes to play. It's been effective. They've signed Walcott, who is in many respects, I think, the perfect Allardyce signing for the way he likes to play. He's got them safe. He's done his job. Is it going to be enough to keep the fans happy? Possibly not. And, of course, it's rumoured that now Rooney is going over to DC United, I believe.
It is indeed. And since it's the last game of the season, we decided to get our favourite guest on the show for this one. Chris, what's your thoughts on Everton?
Well, you know what, Gia, I've got to admit, I'm not an Everton fan. I'm not into their football. I'm just surprised. Well, no, am I surprised, actually? I'm not. No. Everywhere Sam goes, he gets a bad brief. He gets a bad PR. Us, Newcastle, now Everton. What is it about Sam Allardyce that everybody who has him really gets upset about? Because if you're an outsider, he's never been your manager, you think Allardyce does a good job. He gets teams mid-table. He saves them from relegation. Crystal Palace. You can name so many clubs where he's done a good job. But when you get him as your manager and you go one up against Norwich and then he parks the bus at home, you can't take it in anymore. And so I've got real sympathy for Everton. And it's tough because on the one hand, I do understand when someone like Sam says, what have I got to do? I keep teams in the Premier League. That's what I get paid for. But of course, I've got real sympathy as a West Ham fan when I know if you're not going to win stuff, i.e. you're not going to be in the top 4 in the league, you're not going to win a cup, at least let's see decent football. I think that's Sam's downfall, and that's Everton's downfall, and that's why we have sympathy with their fans.
Chris, do you think they need to get rid of Allardyce in the summer? Like you said, he is doing his job. He's getting results. They're in the table where they should be. However, the football ain't pretty.
You know what? We've got no problems around at West Ham. It's up to their board what they really want. I think, look, hands up, if you want guaranteed football in the Premier League, Sam is going to do it for you. He's done it year in, year out, and you've got to stand by his record. If you want entertaining football, Sam isn't going to do it for you. I mean, I don't know. I've heard that apparently when he was with Bolton, it was great. Me personally, I don't need to win anything. I do need to win a few big games in the season. It's great when you beat Chelsea. It's great when you beat Tottenham. It's great when you see. I need decent football. That's what keeps me coming back. I'm a West Ham fan and I want decent football. And I've got a funny feeling Everton are exactly the same. It must be tough for them to look across Stanley Park and see the free, flowing, goal-scoring football that the Reds are playing and think, okay, I'm going to turn up at our place tomorrow. It's just not happening.
Yeah, I think Everton have got all the ingredients for a good footballing side. They've got the money as well. They've got the ambition. But unfortunately, for some reason, they've hired the chef that doesn't know how to use those ingredients to sort of adhere to the recipe that the fans want to see. He can't produce it. And I can only echo you two. You can only sympathise with the Everton fans. We get told, be careful what you wish for. Now, I think fans are starting to understand that actually this is not what we were wishing for, and it's on them now. I can't blame Everton fans at all for wanting rid of him. Even if they finish 8th in the season, 9th, it doesn't matter. Get him out of the game. I don't like to see football like that at all. I don't like to see those same managers being recycled around the same football clubs, failing at one job and then going into the next club, etc. I don't understand it. However, I think they've had a solid season. They're a club in transmission because they're trying to step up from breaking away from the bottom 14 teams, or 13 if you like. They're trying to get away from 13 teams in the Premier League and get into that top 6, which is going to be very, very difficult, especially now when they've got Wolves in the Premier League next year, who's got just as much money as them and just as much ambition. Last summer, I don't think there was anyone to compete with Everton in the transfer window. They were going around all the clubs outside the top 6 and picking out their best players. Something we'll have him, we'll have Michael Keane, we'll have Sigurdsson, because there was no one to go up against them with the money. Wolves have got that checkbook now, and they can play chicken with them a little bit. And it's going to be interesting summer, those two clubs with their money. Gonzo, they spent lots of money last summer. They've got very good players. Wayne Rooney likes to score against us. Theo Walcott likes to score against us. Who do you consider to be the danger man?
Yeah, I mean, I'd actually go with Theo. Obviously, they brought the guy over. Did they bring him over from the Turkish league? I think what named Tosun, something like that. Yeah. I mean, he's hit the ground running to a certain extent. He's put the ball in the back of the net. But I've always liked Theo. I thought Theo's had a bad rap, and every time we've always been linked with him, I've always quite fancied him at West Ham. He's direct, he's fast. I like, you know me, Gio. I like that football. I'm not overly critical of you know what I say about that Barcelona style. It's a little bit too tippy-tappy. I love the football that Liverpool play at the moment. I love counter-attacking, like fast wingers. I like sort of Premier League British style football, and I don't mean in that Sam or Moyes type mould. I just like to attack in, 5 or 6 moves in many respects, and I've always sort of liked that, and I've always thought Theo would be good for us if we'd have ever got him. We didn't. He's now at Everton, and I do think he's going to cause us a few problems unless he pulls wide and he starts going up against Masuaku, who might well be able to match him for pace. Surely Sam's a little bit too wily for that, and he might well put him on the other side against Zabaleta possibly.
Well, it doesn't matter, because on the other side they'll probably have Balassi anyway, who's not short of a yard of pace. So they've got pace on both sides. Tosun's the one that impresses me. He's got 5 goals since he come. 2 of them have been with headers, so he's good in the air as well, and that's something we're going to have to watch out for, because we've conceded 10 goals this season from headed goals, and that's the 5th most in the Premier League. So while you might think we're strong in the air, Aaron Cresswell is not. And Sam Allardyce will know Aaron Cresswell like the back of his hand, and he'll be saying to his striker, stand next to him when we're out wide, because you will beat him in the air and you will get a chance. And it goes back to when we played Burnley, and I remember saying to you, Gonzo, Chris Wood's going to do that against Aaron Cresswell. He's going to go up against Cresswell, and that's exactly what he did when he came on. He went up against Cresswell because he knew he could win the ball in the air every single time. This isn't anything against Cresswell. I think he's a very good player. I think he's doing well in his position. But this is where the managers know our weak spot. West Ham have only beaten Everton once in their last 22 head-to-heads. Meanwhile, David Moyes has got a half-decent record against Sam Allardyce. They've come up against each other 21 times. David Moyes winning 12 times and losing just 6. However, the last 5 of those games, Allardyce was in charge of West Ham, while David Moyes was in charge of either Everton or Manchester United. Chris, last game of the season, it's the £14 million game though. Between 10th and 17th, £40 million in prize money. We can finish anywhere in there. Would you like to see changes to the personnel of the team?
So I'm actually really confident about Sunday, because it's the first game where we've got nothing to lose. Everton haven't got anything really to play for. I think they're pretty secure up there in 8th. Of course, Allardyce won't want to lose against us. I can see us playing some free-flowing football. I mean, I heard a rumour that Hugo might be starting. That'd be interesting. I hope not. And I really would like to see, Arnautovic, Lanzini, have free-flowing, running the game, Carroll up there. I don't think Hernandez will start. I think he's off ski. Can't afford him to get injured. Carroll. And I've got a funny feeling that we're going to be so relaxed that we're actually going to take our chances and score. I'm looking for a high-scoring game and good football, and Moyes bowing out, saying, that's sort of stuff I could go. I'm going to do it for a team in the top 8.
Gonzo, what about yourself? We were wanting to see changes in the personnel on Thursday. It didn't come. We got the point on the board, though. I think we know what's going to come, but would you like to see? Chris is right, by the way. There is rumours that Hugo's going to start. David Moyes alluded before the Man United game he's going to get game time, and you never come on Thursday, so he's only got one game left. If he is going to get game time, I mean, would you like to see him start? Would you like to see him given a chance?
Well, if he's going to do that, then that's a sentimental choice. And if we're going to do a sentimental choice, then I've got a far better candidate in James Collins to actually go in a back three, and which would obviously deal with Tosun, who you say is good in the air, would take Cresswell out of that, and then pick who you want at left wing back. So no, I wouldn't do it. And I do feel for Hugo. I really do. I think he was a victim of bad player selection and a panicked summer recruitment deadline day policy. And I think he's probably suffered for that. As I said before, hopefully he's been remunerated well, and it's sort of, it's improved his bank balance and it helps him for years to come on that. So it's been worthwhile him doing. But from a football point of view, it's not worked out well for him. I'd like to see what we saw at the end of the game, as Chris alluded to, there would be Andy Karanautovic up front, but not with Mario sort of stuck out on left wing back. I like him to try and work it a little bit. There's no reason why we shouldn't go for this. There's just no reason at all. And you mentioned the 14 million quid. That does not matter to me at all. It's not going to help with my car repayments. I've got no faith that it's going to be ploughed correctly into a new player. I just don't. It doesn't matter to us. If I thought, do you know what, we've got £60 million this summer, and actually getting that extra 14 million would mean we get to spend 74 million, I'd think great. But I'm not even sure that would happen. So I just want us to go out and entertain and look forward to it. We're all going there in a sort of party mode, Joe. You know that we got extra burgers on the boat, and we've got a disco up there, and we're all looking to have a really nice time. And I want to go in with a carnival atmosphere in the stadium as well, and have a sing song. And far be it from me to dismiss 14 million, of course, but just go for it. Let's just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I mean, to get that top echelon money, the 14 million extra, I think there's five or six other results need to go in our favour, but it's potentially it could happen because the likes of Brighton are playing Liverpool. There's someone playing not Man City because they're playing Southampton. They've all got hard fixtures anyway, so the results could go in our favour, and a win could see us propel up to 10th, which at the start of the season, on paper, you'd have to say that's a successful season or an okay season for West Ham to finish 10th. Although the way we've got there, we'll have stumbled there, but we will have finished 10th at the end of the day. I don't want to see Jordan Hugo because, like you said, it is a sentimental thing. The guy's now had more minutes for West Ham on Twitch playing Fortnite than he has on the football pitch since he joined us. I mean, that's how bad it is. We've got a £9 million esports player at the football club just now. I don't want to see Patrice Evra at all. There's no point to seeing a 36-year-old who's hopefully going in the summer. We don't need to see him. I'd rather see Pass come on off the bench who are bringing on a defender. Give the fans something to stand up and applaud for. Fans want to stand up and applaud if Patrice Evra's coming on the pitch. That's not going to get anyone excited. Get a kid on if you're going to put someone on. I want to see 4-4-2 in this one. David Moyes knows how to play 4-4-2. Get Karanautovic up there. Masuaku and Creswell on the left. One left back, one left mid. Get two proper players who know how to cross the ball, how to beat a man. They've linked up well together, them two, I think. I think they link up well. The only problem is, where do you put Lanzini? You put him centre mid next to Noble and weaken it a little bit, or do you stick him out on the right and then you're sort of removing him from the game? But that's up for the manager to decide. But the big talking point that sort of gets overlooked, Gonzo's mentioned it, we spoke about in Cups of Tea, Chris, James Collins, we still don't know if he's staying or going. Do you think we should know before the game? Because if it's his last game, surely we want to say farewell to him. And should he get the sentimental starting position?
Yeah, I applauded you. You did a tweet maybe 10 days ago where you mentioned something like that, where you said, look, this guy, if he's going, we ought to know because he ought to get a standing lap of honour because he's been a phenomenal servant, 2 massive periods here. He's literally put his manhood on the line for us on many occasions. I personally would want someone like him to stay at the club. I think it's important that you have somebody like him who's a legacy player, who's been there, seen it through thick and thin, who can actually help other people settle in. He should be in the background stuff if he's not going to be playing anymore. I do think, however, our board of business people, and they will be callous enough to let him go. So I could imagine that he doesn't play and he doesn't get signed and he is gone. And you see him walking around the pitch in his polo neck rather than a Warrior vest.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does go round on his own at the end of the game and gets a stand ovation on his own. Chris, me and Gonzo have discussed this plenty of times on here. David Moyes, it could be his last game on Sunday in charge of West Ham. Do you think it should be his last game?
Oh, that's a real tough question. So he has done what he was asked for, which was to keep the team up. He's done that, and he's done that with 2 games to spare. I do think it will be his last game, because I think that the owners panicked and got him in to make sure we were secure. My problem is, it doesn't matter who you have in that position. If our owners interfere with the day-to-day running of the club, of the team, they don't back them in the transfer market, they cross-brief the media against the manager, it doesn't matter who you got in there, it is not going to work. So personally, I would rather talk about our board than our manager. Moyes is going to go. It don't matter who comes in. If the board want to play Sabutio or whatever the ES manager, then it ain't going to work. You ain't good enough. You're a businessman. Now, you've got to change your customer efficiency model where you stack it high, do it cheap. We saw that in the transfer window 2 years ago when we come into the stadium. We've got all these cheap players and it's stacked high and cheap. That's a customer efficiency model. You need to have a customer excellent model where you get top class players and you get a manager who manages, a manager who says, my team, my ball, my team, and I'll stand and fall by what I do. Leave me alone. Now, I think if they backed Bilic like that, we would have had a phenomenal team. Unfortunately, Bilic was the sort of manager, old school, who took it on the chin, didn't let anybody else know what's going on in the ground, and he was fighting against the board and the other clubs and the other managers, and we didn't realise he was getting better from pillar to post. And see Bilic, see any other attacking manager who wants to play free-flowing football. You haven't got a chance.
Yeah, well, I can only echo your thoughts there, and I think Gonzo will as well. Chris, what's your final thoughts on the game itself? And may I get your score prediction, please, for this one?
Yeah. I think there's going to be quite a few goals in it. I could see 3-1, 4-2, West Ham. I think Moyes will come out. It's his last game, nothing to lose, and we'll play free-flowing football. I'm really looking forward to seeing the interaction between Lanzini and Nartovic and then seeing Carroll boss that back four, really put his arms about. And I really think that we could see 3-4 goals on the last game of the season. Would be brilliant.
Gonzo, can I get your final thoughts? And for the last time this season, may I have your score prediction as well?
Yeah, I want to get Chris into the dressing room to give the team talk. I think, you can give it all a buff. Go on, Andy, get in there, Ginge, get the old manhood on the line, and I've been missing a bit of this. We've been missing a bit of this, but anyway,
I'll come back because you're so Gonzo, you are so right though. You are so right. You need to say to Carroll, you're the man. Box that 6-yard area. Box that box. Come on. I want shoulders. I want arms. I want you being big and strong. My ball. My goal. My ball. I want to see you doing that.
But you would expect, look, listen, you're a motivational speaker now as well, and we can all see why. But you would expect peers to be doing that sort of thing as well. And I've just wondered, in recent years, how much of that actually goes on, to have some leadership. I watched, I would digress a little bit. I watched a thing on Sky. It was about a Lions tour a few years ago, and it was Delalio, and there was Martin Johnson. There was just so many leaders, and they were just being so motivational, almost doing the coach's job for him. I just wonder how much of that we lack, which brings us back to James Collins, of course, because he does give you that. I went up to Wickham earlier on in the season, and Collins was taking the under-23s through their paces in training. He hadn't been asked to do it. Terry Westy was manager, but he was doing it, and you could see just all these years of organisation and just how much of a motivator he was. So yeah, I mean, you need that to instill that, to get the players playing. I just wonder how much of that is done in the dressing room. In terms of the game itself, we've also got to remember, as much as Moyes, he could leave the board in a strange position. He probably do want to get rid of him, but if he does do the free-flowing football that Chris suggests, then it does give him something to think about, particularly if we win. But he has fulfilled his remit. But there's another manager in the other dugout who's also fulfilled his remit. But he probably both need an extra little thing to convince their owners to give them a job. So wouldn't it be funny? How funny if you had both Moyes and Allardyce both trying to prove that their teams can play football in this final game of the season when both have basically fulfilled their remit. I've got to be positive, Gio. You know me, I don't mind calling a loss if I think we're going to lose. But I do actually think maybe it's just a carnival atmosphere. Maybe the smell of the burgers is already in my nostrils, and I'm just feeling that party vibe ahead of it. But I think we're going to beat them 2-1.
We're going to win. I think it's more than burgers up your nostrils. Never mind Chris in the changing rooms. I want to see Chris in the boardroom, like he was saying earlier. I want to see Sugo, get him in front of Sugo and get them told about the manager. I don't care what Moyes does over the 90 minutes on Sunday. It will not change my opinion. I want him gone. Not quite Avram Grant style. You in the room, you're out. None of that. But it needs to be done sharp. Monday morning, if you like. A decision needs to be made. I've seen rumours 10 days or whatever. We don't have 10 days. The transfer window is open before. The transfer window is open in a week. We have to act now. We need to start getting these transfers in. The World Cup is just around the corner. This board have to act. In my opinion, will not change. Even if we win 5-0 on Sunday, I will give Moyes the credit and I will praise Moyes for the 90 minutes. But my opinion will not change. I want two things from a manager: attacking football and to go for the cups. He delivers. I've seen no evidence of him delivering either of them at West Ham United. So my opinion won't change. And for this one, I'm thinking Dithering Dave. I think we're away to see two managers who will see a draw as going unbeaten rather than a game not winning, if you like. That's the mentality of those two. We've got Mr. Park the bus versus Mr. Long Ball. You can decide which is which because you can get both of them tagged. I'm going to go sit on the fence for this one and say 1-1. I think it'll suit both managers as well. But Chris, I'd just like to say thank you very much for coming on again. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Gio, and what I want to say, both of you, Gio, Gonzo, you do fantastic work. You know, I've been on your show a couple of times, but actually I do follow you. I see the stuff that you put out there. And just as a fan, I want to say you do fantastic work. Keep up the good work. We do follow and listen to you. You bring in so much information that I didn't know prior to each game. So well done. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Gonzo, for the last time this season, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here and leave your comments below. And of course, get your ticket for the boats. And me and Gonzo will see you on Sunday for Jager bombs, beer, burgers. And then unfortunately, we've got to go watch David Moyes' football.